Hello, welcome in everyone. I'm Ken, aka the Super Tech God, aka the Super Variant God, and that's right. Today we have the pleasure and the honor of reviewing and playing first the most anticipated card of this season, X-Men versus Avengers, and of course that is War Machine. Now, of course, War Machine is on reveal until the end of next turn. Nothing can stop you from playing cards anywhere. Now, of course, that comes with a little bit of caveat here. Anywhere meaning where cards can be played. So that means if you have a lane that's full, no, you're not playing a card there. It's already full. Same thing goes for Space Throne. Of course, what it does do, however, is allow you to play in places and behind cards or play certain cards that would have stopped you if this card wasn't in play. That, of course, that means the one and only my favorite card in Marvel Snap, the Infinaut. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this card is Infinaut's bodyguard. That's what I'm going to say. The best card to pair War Machine with is no other than the Infinaut. You guys are going to see a lot of that in the gameplay, of course, as well as other cards like Ebony Maw. Okay, so I want to show you guys the deck, but before we dive into that, look how beautiful this variant looks. We could not do a video on this card without looking at this amazing variant of War Machine. Now, there are other card lists that we did test out. I was able to play a plethora of matches, but I did find one card list that I really like, and that's the one I'm going to showcase here. But what you really should think about is War Machine works well with cards that stop you from playing in certain locations, like Professor X, or Storm, or even Goose. And in this card list, we do have some of those cards and those synergies working perfect together, and we're going to dive into that card list right now. So to start things off, we have our number one card in the deck, the one cost Nebula. Now, Nebula is a great card. You put this card in the lane. If your opponent doesn't play on that lane, Nebula gets +2 power. So it's great to put Nebula in a lane with Storm, or of course in a lane with Goose. And we're going to see that play out in these games. Next card on the list is Ebony Maw. Like I said, if you're able to drop War Machine on turn 6, especially on Hope Summers, which is in this card list, you're able to play Infinaut and Ebony Maw on the final turn. And next we have Goose. Now, Goose is here to stop your opponent from playing any 4, 5, or 6s in that lane. Yes, that also stops you, but you have War Machine. So if you're able to play War Machine, you can then put any card you want behind Goose, whether it be Infinaut to protect it from the Shang-Chi's or anything else. So that's why Goose is in this card list. Then we have Zabu. Now, Zabu is in here, of course, because we have a few 4s in the card list, including War Machine. So Zabu is going to bring that War Machine and the other 4s down to 3 costs, helping you be able to play both cards on turn 6, or, of course, playing those cards a bit earlier. And, of course, one of the best 3-cost cards in the game when it comes to lockdown as well is Storm. Now, the way this works is, like I said, your plan is to play Nebula on 1, and then play Storm on 3 to lock down that lane with Nebula. Because if your opponent can't play there, all Nebula's going to do is continue to buff and buff and buff. Then next we have Hope Summers. Also another 3-cost card in this card list that I really recommend you walking with, because with Hope, if you play on this card, next turn you get 1+ energy. So I'm going to break down everything and how it works out, as well as show some videos. But the main goal for her is to give you that +1 energy, and you're going to see why in a minute. And then we have Ironland. Now, Ironland's in this card list because on reveal, you copy the text of the card on the top of your deck. So this also helps you see what your next card is, but you can also take that chance, YOLO, and play Ironland and hopefully hit Hope Summers, War Machine, or even Doom. Doom is in this card list, that's correct. And again, if you have Zabu out, you can play this on turn 3. Then, of course, you have the star of the card list, War Machine, the card that everybody wanted. Since War Machine was brought up in that awesome video done by Second Dinner, everybody couldn't wait to get their hands on this card, and that time is now. So I'm super excited to be the first one to show you guys this cool card list. And again, I'm going to break everything down as we continue going through the card list. Next on the list is Cull Obsidian. Cull is a great card. Last season came out with the Black Order. Of course, you can only play this card where you have 1-cost cards. So the way this works is same thing. You play War Machine, play this card whatever you want. But if you don't, you also have Nebula and, like I said, Ebony Maw in the card list so that you can actually play this on one of those 1-costs. Then we have Taskmaster. Yes, Taskmaster's in here because you can copy Cull, right? If you get to play Cull on 5, you can play Taskmaster to copy, giving you 2 10s and 2 different lanes. But the main goal for this card is to copy the biggest card in this card list. That's right, the main star of the card list, and that's the Infinaut. Then we have Doom. So Dr. Doom is in this card list again, because now if you do lock down a lane and you can't play War Machine, at least you can get 5 power into that lane, whether it be the Goose lane or the Storm lane or both. And of course, Iron Lad, hit this card early, whether it be on 3 or on turn 4, you're getting 5 bots across the board. And then of course, you play Dr. Doom on the last turn, another 5 Doom bots. And of course, last but certainly not least, my favorite card in Marvel Snap, the Infinaut. And the reason why I'm happy to be testing out War Machine. Now, the way Infinaut works is if you play a card last turn, you can't play this card. With War Machine, none of that matters. So, best ideal play style for this card list is turn 1, Nebula. Turn 2, Goose in a separate lane. Turn 3, Hope Summers in the Nebula lane. Turn 4, War Machine on Hope Summers in the lane with Nebula. Turn 5, Infinaut in the Goose lane, right? Because now you can play Infinaut on turn 5 because of Hope Summers' additional energy on turn 4, right? Then on turn 6, Taskmaster in any lane you want, of sorts, not the Goose lane. You can play Taskmaster in the Nebula lane and buff that lane, or you can play Taskmaster in its separate lane in the middle. Nonetheless, your opponent's going to have to try to figure out how to stop all 3 lanes, because you already have Nebula buffing up in one lane with, of course, Hope Summers and a powerful War Machine. So you can either play that Taskmaster in that lane with it, or you can play Taskmaster in a different lane, separate from the Goose and the Infinaut lane. Because now, while Infinaut is sitting in the Goose lane on turn 5, your opponent would need Zabu or have to play Enchantress to even Shang-Chi the Infinaut. But by that time, it might be too late. So now the alternative to that would be Nebula still on turn 1. Turn 2 will be Zabu. Turn 3 will be Storm in the Nebula lane, right? So this way you can keep Nebula buffing up because your opponent can't play there. They have a decision to make whether they're going to play there or not. Okay, then on turn 4, you would play Hope Summers. On turn 5, you would play War Machine on Hope Summers. So now on turn 6, you could play Infinaut in one lane, and you can play Ebony Maw in the Storm lane, or vice versa. So that's basically your 2 ways of winning. We're going to show that in the video. You either go that first route, which I think is most ideal because you can use Taskmaster, you can play Infinaut early, you can use Goose to lock the lane down as well as protect your Infinaut, or you can go the other route and try to play Ebony Maw and Infinaut on the last turn, uses Hope Summers' ability as well as War Machine. Now, of course, there's other cards in the card list that we just showed you. So your third route would definitely be to lock a lane and then use Iron Lad to try to copy Doom or play Doom on turn 6. Or again, try to figure out different ways to play. You also have Cull to help play on top of Nebula if need be. Or again, you can play Ebony Maw early, knowing that you have Doom in your hand. Or of course, if you have War Machine, that you can play into the Ebony Maw lane when needed. But enough of me talking about the card, enough of me showing you guys the card list. Let's dive into the video, shall we? All right, everyone, let's get hyped. We get to play with War Machine for the first time. And of course, we get War Machine in our hands. And we have Nebula and we have Titan. I think we go ahead and play Nebula here. In case we want to storm, we'll storm the mid. We won't storm Titan. Let's hope we do get Storm. Let's also hope we get the Infinaut. That's the goal here, right? War Machine, Infinaut, Taskmaster. All right, so let's see if we can get Hope and the Infinaut. Ooh, and there it is, Mindscape. So we 100% would love to get Storm right now. We do have Iron Lad that will give us a chance in case we do not pull the card Storm in time. Let's see what goes down. All right, Zabu comes down. They have a Daredevil, so on turn 5, they get to see what we're doing. That's totally fine. All right, so we do also have Doom. We don't want to give them Doom, so let's go ahead and play Iron Lad. Let's hope this is a wonderful Storm. And it is Storm, guys. Look at that. We asked for it and we got it. Cool thing here is Mirror Dimension might go ahead and turn to Flooding, giving us 2 Storm locations. Guys, we here. We can just talk about it. We can just talk about it. All right, so we go ahead and let that rock out. We'll go ahead and play Storm here as well. Why not? What we have to lose here, we could play War Machine and then go ahead and play something else. But let's think about that. If we storm this lane, these 2 lock up. We could then play War Machine on the next turn. Oh, our opponent leaves. Oh, guys, that was going to be phenomenal. We could have had 3 lanes locked down, play War Machine on 5, which would then give us an ability to play on any of the lanes we wanted. On 6, we play Doom, Infinaut, whatever we want. We win the game. That was a great first game, but you guys didn't get to see, of course, the combos come out because our opponent retreated. But game 2, let's see, we do have Zabu, we do have Storm. We have our turn 2, we have our turn 3 play. We also have Hope Summer. So if we do pull War Machine, we might hold off on playing Storm. But we will play Hope, and we will play, of course, hopefully, War Machine. All right, so we got Clintar coming down, and we have, of course, Crimson Cosmos. So that lane itself is already locked down. Let's go ahead and play the wonderful Nebula. All right, so we do also have Hope, and we do have War Machine. So I think we storm this lane now. Actually, thankful for the undo button. Let's go ahead and storm this lane. All right, Scorpion comes down and gives us 1 less power for each of our cards. We'll go ahead and storm Quantum Tunnel. Okay, give us the ability to go ahead, and we can go ahead and play Zabu over here. We'll now let Clintar do its thing. They're playing Hell Cow, which is fine. Ooh, okay, good. There we go. Clintar does this thing. All right, now we have a flood lane over there. This is now on turn 5. We're able to go ahead and play the one and only War Machine. Our opponents did go ahead and snap. Now this gives us the ability to play in any lanes that we want. So again, we do have Cull. So we're going to play Cull here. We're going to play this here. But of course, this only gives us 6. Doesn't really help us at all. Goose. We're just going to play Infinaut here. We do win tiebreakers. And there it is. All right, we're going on to this game. Now, we do have, of course, Zabu and Goose. So we might play one of these next turn. I'm thinking about playing Goose. We have Hope and we have War Machine. So we do have the combos we need. We'll go ahead and play Goose on this lane. Hopefully, we can lock it down before they play on Hotel Inferno as well. Oh, they didn't play. All right, they did play Colossus. We go ahead and destroy one of their cards. Get out of here. Bye-bye, Daredevil. Now, we get to play, of course, Hope Summers. Ooh, look at that. We're not playing over there. We do have Storm. Hope Summers is the way to go. Goose will help protect any card we need. Our goal here now is to hope we draw the Infinaut and Taskmaster. If not, which is totally fine, we'll go ahead and play a little bit differently. So let's see how this goes. We did get Taskmaster. So we could also get Infinaut next turn. So let's go ahead and play this right now. If we don't get Infinaut, we'll go ahead and play Doom on the right side, which will go ahead, of course, and give us an awesome card, as well as play the Doombots across the board. Down comes the Goblin. All right. Now, as you can see, War Machine goes ahead, gives that ability. Do we get the Infinaut? We do get the Infinaut, ladies and gentlemen, the best card in the game. We'll go ahead and snap. We're going to play the Infinaut behind the Goose. As you guys can see, the animation is still there because War Machine doesn't change Goose's ability, but War Machine does allow us to play anywhere we want, as long as it's able for us to play, and that is behind the Goose to protect against any type of Shang cheese. And if our opponent could play, if they could have played Galactus early, doesn't matter. If not, sitting there now, nice and pretty. And then, of course, on the next turn, we're going to play Taskmaster. Yep, we don't care about your Warpath. That changes to Jessica Jones. You can keep that. The Infinaut comes down, giving us 19 points in the mid. And, of course, we round it off at the end with a wonderful Taskmaster on the left with additional +3 power, because, of course, that card will be the highest. All right, let's see. They can't play Shang-Chi, so what do they play in the mid? Bucky and Carnage. All right, well, that's a nice try. Victory is ours, guys. And that's how you want to play this card list. We said it earlier. We got what we wanted. We got the Goose out. We got Hope Summers on 3. We got War Machine on 4, giving us Infinaut on 5, and then Taskmaster on 6, putting across the board 40 points on the last 2 turns. All right, we're starting off. We do have the combo ready. We have the combo ready. We have turn 4, Hope Summers, turn 5, War Machine, turn 6, Infinaut one lane, Ebony Maw in another. So we'll go ahead and skip this turn. Let's see what cards we can get to help us achieve our goal by locking down a lane, whether it be Goose or Storm. Which card do we get? Daily Bugle gives us a Hood, which we don't care about. We also get Call Obsidian. So we'll go ahead and play Hood by itself over here. It's totally fine. We can also, guys, we can also play Ebony Maw. Let's think about this for a second. Oh, they played already. I said we could have played Ebony Maw, Hope, War Machine, Infinite Task, and then we get Weird World. Okay. Not bad at all. All right, so we're going to save Ebony Maw for the last turn. So let's go ahead and drop this here. Okay. We're definitely going to play Hope Summers. And we can play Chavez on Hope. Ooh, they came down with a hard card there, which is Death. Right, we're going to go ahead and play War Machine here and Squirrel Girl there. So what's going to happen next turn, they snapped on us too. We'll snap back. Next turn, we're going to play Infinite on the left, Ebony Maw in the mid. That's the goal. That's the plan. Let's see what happens. All right, so Ebony Maw in the mid gives us 14 points, which should be good enough. We'll go ahead and drop Infinite here on the left, which we can win that lane. Let's see how this pulls off. Fade cubes. Can we make it happen? And they go ahead and play on that side. Taskmaster copying the Nebula. Of course, we got Ebony Maw coming out in the middle, giving us 14. And of course, the Infinite right off that left side, guys. You guys are seeing the combos. You guys are seeing the combos with the card list. I love that it's playing so smoothly. This is great. All right, so we have the big house. No 4, 5, or 6. So we basically got a Goose there on the left already anyway. We do have Zabu, which Zabu can go in that lane. Let's just storm that lane if we need to. We can also get Nebula, hopefully. So let's see what happens. Go ahead to the next turn. All right, so we're going to turn 2. Zabu will be the card we play because we already have Goose, which is the big house. All right, so we got War Machine and we got Infinaut. So we have our turn 5, turn 6 play. Let's go ahead and play Zabu over there with Goose. I mean, we could get crazy about to say we can Goose 2 lanes here, right? Let's not do that. Yeah, let's not do that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so now we do have 3 cost cards going on here. Eternity range. All right, we did not get Hope, but we don't also have Taskmaster. So what do we do here, guys? We can lock a lane down. We have also Doom. So we could shut down this lane. Play Iron Lad in that lane next. Or play Iron Lad with Zabu on 4, which I think makes sense.
Wind, aid my hand.
All right, so we did get Taskmaster, which would have been great if we had hope. Nonetheless, we'll go ahead and play this over here. All right, so they did go ahead and play on that side, giving them a nice power at 5. We're going to go ahead and hit Hope Summers. There it is, guys. Now, if we get Ebony Maw, we put Ebony Maw over on the flooded lane, and then we can go ahead and play Infinaut. No, we can play Infinaut in the flooded lane. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. So let's go ahead and play Goose here with this. Now, our opponent cannot play it on the right. They're going to have a hard time if they have any 4, 5, 6s to play on the left. Oh, they don't. They have nice small cards. Go ahead and get a copy of War Machine in your hand. Doesn't help you at this point because now last turn is coming up. All right, so then we got Goose and we got the War Machine. Now, Ken, again, we can go ahead and play wherever we like. Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw. We call the cards. We get it. They snap on us. They snap on us. Now, here it is, guys. What do? We can go ahead and do this. We can go ahead and do this. We can go ahead and do that. We can do whatever we want here. So let's really think about it and play it out the way we want to, okay? We're winning this lane. For them to play in this lane, I don't know if they will make sense to do it, but they could do it if they want to. Do we need to worry about that lane? Not really. So I think we do this. Make sure we cover that. Oh, sorry, what I'm saying. Yeah, make sure we cover that because they're not really, no way they can beat 22 in this lane. Then we go ahead and play here. Okay? We don't have to worry about anything like Eliath or anything here destroying us. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and end this turn. And there you go. They play in that lane, which is Bishop, which does nothing for us. Infinaut goes over here, gets 22. And of course, we end off with 21 and 22. So we get to drop 27 points on the final turn, guys. This is so much fun. Enjoying War Machine. I really can't wait to see what you guys do with it. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed those videos. It was super fun for me being able to show that to you guys. I did try a bunch of different things, using things like armor instead of Goose, or using things like Chavez instead of Zabu. And these things all worked. Did multiple different things using different cards, tried using Crossbones and all those other things. And everything worked out well, depending on how you played, of course. But nonetheless, if you guys want to see more of the content, if you guys want to see it done live, come hang out with me over at twitch.tv/SuperTechGuy. Or, of course, check me out here on YouTube. My channel is STG-Marvel Snap. All right, guys, again, thanks again. That was super fun. And I can't wait to see what card list you guys come up with when it comes to War Machine. Peace.